Introducing the Current Affairs Workbook. It is an activity-driven learning comprising summaries, quick facts, MCQs, true-false statements, mains practice questions, and ethics case studies, consolidated into a comprehensive workbook. Dive into our monthly magazine summary, a concise overview capturing key insights, events, and trends of the month. Unlock the power of our Quick Facts block, your rapid reference toolkit with essential facts, figures, and critical statistics. Experience our dynamic activities like MCQs and true-false statements to subjective questions and ethics case studies that refine your analytical thinking and articulation skills. Track your progress with our dedicated self-evaluation page, your personal growth monitoring and improvement tool.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Union Cabinet approves bills on simultaneous polls. ISRO successfully tests CE20 Cryogenic Engine. India launched the world's first green steel taxonomy. JJM mission empowering women in rural areas, says PM. Centre may face contempt of court for failing to implement October 2023 judgment on manual scavenging. Growing calls for right to disconnect in India amid concerns of work-life balance. In our first news for the day, the Union Cabinet has approved two bills aimed at implementing simultaneous elections to the Lok Sabha and state assemblies. This decision marks a significant step toward synchronizing the electoral process across the country. Let's take a look at the details of the bills. The first bill proposes an amendment to the Constitution to implement simultaneous polls, while the second focuses on amending provisions in laws concerning union territories with legislative assemblies. This move follows recommendations by a high-level committee chaired by former President Sri Ramnath Kovind. The committee outlined a roadmap for conducting simultaneous polls to Parliament, state assemblies, and local bodies. For clarity, simultaneous elections refer to holding elections for the Lok Sabha, all state legislative assemblies, and local bodies together. But what is the need for simultaneous elections? From a governance perspective, frequent elections often delay developmental programs and hinder policy decisions due to the imposition of the Model Code of Conduct or MCC. Financially, simultaneous elections could help rationalize the massive expenditures incurred when separate elections are held every year. Additionally, this approach can prevent the diversion of human resources, such as security forces and electoral officers like teachers, from their primary duties for extended periods. Other benefits include higher voter participation and a reduced burden on courts handling election-related disputes. However, there are concerns associated with this move. Critics argue that it may adversely impact the electoral prospects of regional parties. Political accountability could also be reduced, as public scrutiny would only occur once every 5 years. Logistically, the simultaneous elections would require a large number of electronic voting machines or EVMs and other resources, posing significant challenges. The high-level committee headed by Sri Ramnath Kovind has provided several key recommendations. First, constitutional amendments are required. These include amendments to 3 articles, the addition of 12 new sub-clauses in the existing articles, and tweaks to 3 laws related to union territories with legislative assemblies. Next, a single electoral roll must be prepared. This would involve the Election Commission of India working in consultation with state election commissions, facilitated by an amendment to Article 325. Furthermore, simultaneous local elections have been proposed. Municipalities and panchayats should hold their elections within 100 days of the parliamentary and assembly elections. Additionally, an appointed date will be notified. Synchronizing the Lok Sabha and assembly elections, the President shall notify the date of the first sitting of the Lok Sabha after a general election as the appointed date. Finally, in cases of fresh elections, provisions have been suggested to constitute a new Lok Sabha in the event of a hung house or a no-confidence motion, etc., only for the remaining term of the immediately preceding full term of the House. In conclusion, this landmark decision could transform India's electoral landscape, streamlining processes and reducing the challenges of frequent elections. However, it also raises important questions about feasibility and political implications. In a significant achievement, ISRO has successfully conducted the sea-level hot test of its CE20 Cryogenic Engine at the ISRO Propulsion Complex in Mahendragiri, Tamil Nadu. This marks another milestone in India's space exploration journey. Let's first understand what a cryogenic engine is. Cryogenic technology involves using rocket propellants at extremely low temperatures. These include liquid oxygen or LOX and liquid hydrogen LH2, which serve as the fuel and oxidizer respectively. To maintain their liquid states, liquid oxygen must be kept below -183 degrees Celsius, while liquid hydrogen requires temperatures below -253 degrees Celsius. Now, let's take a look at the features of the CE20 Cryogenic Engine. One key feature is its engine restart capability enabled by a multi-element igniter. This capability is critical for missions like Gaganyaan, ensuring reliable performance in space. Another notable feature is a nozzle protection system, which is tested during this phase. This system prevents flow, separation, and vibrations, significantly improving engine performance and testing efficiency. So why are cryogenic engines so significant for India's space programs? First, they provide a major boost to India's space program. Cryogenic engines enhance rocket efficiency and thrust, enabling the launch of powerful rockets with higher payloads. This is essential for ambitious missions such as Gaganyaan, satellite launches, and interplanetary exploration. Second, these engines represent indigenous development and self-reliance. By mastering cryogenic technology, India has reduced its reliance on foreign technology. Notably, India is now one of 6 countries alongside the US, Russia, France, China, and Japan to have developed its own cryogenic engines. Lastly, enhanced payload capacity is a key advantage. Cryogenic engines offer a higher specific impulse, enabling rockets to carry heavier payloads, further expanding India's capabilities in space exploration. This successful test of the CE20 Cryogenic Engine underscores ISRO's technological prowess and its commitment to advancing India's space ambitions. With such milestones, India continues to solidify its position as a global leader in space exploration. In a groundbreaking move, India has launched the world's first green steel taxonomy, marking a significant step towards sustainable industrial practices. Taxonomy or classification was launched by the Union Ministry of Steel and is set to redefine the standards for environmental-friendly steel production. Let's take a closer look at the key features of this taxonomy. Firstly, green steel has been defined as steel with a carbon dioxide or CO2 equivalent emission intensity of less than 2.2 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per ton of finished steel. To evaluate and categorize this, a star rating system has been introduced, based on the level of greenness. The threshold limits for these ratings will be reviewed every 3 years, ensuring adaptability and progress. But what is the current threshold? 5-star green rated steel is defined as having an emission intensity lower than 1.6 tons. 4-star green rated steel falls between 1.6 and 2.0 tons. 3-star green rated steel has an emission intensity between 2.0 and 2.2 tons. The National Institute of Secondary Steel Technology or NISST has been designated as the nodal agency. It will oversee measurement, reporting and verification or MRV, as well as issue greenness certificates annually and star ratings. Now, why is this green steel taxonomy so important? It plays a pivotal role in advancing the proposed 15,000 crore rupees National Mission on Green Steel as part of the upcoming Green Steel policy. This mission aims to decarbonize the steel industry and promote sustainable growth. On a global scale, taxonomy enhances India's competitiveness by helping Indian steel remain competitive amid global policies like the European Union's Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism or CABM. It positions India as a leader in green steel manufacturing. Additionally, it fosters innovation and growth by creating a transformative framework for steel production and establishing a market for low-carbon products within the country. Now, several key initiatives to decarbonize the steel sector in India have been introduced. The National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency, or NMEEE, is one of the 8 missions under the National Action Plan for Climate Change or NAPCC. The Perform, Achieve and Trade or PAT scheme, a market-based mechanism under NMEEE, promotes energy efficiency through energy saving certificates or ES certs. Other notable efforts include the Green Hydrogen Energy Mission, the National Solar Mission, and the Steel Scrap Recycling Policy 2019. With these initiatives, India is setting a global benchmark in sustainable steel production. The Green Steel Taxonomy not only underscores the nation's commitment to climate goals, but also strengthens its position as a pioneer in green industrial practices. Ahead, we delve into the transformative impact of the Jal Jeevan Mission, a visionary initiative under the Ministry of Jal Shakti that has redefined rural water access while emerging as a beacon of women empowerment. Highlighting its profound significance, Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently emphasized how Jal Jeevan Mission has empowered women in rural areas. A report by SBI revealed a remarkable shift that 9 crore women no longer fetch water from outside, owing to Jal Jeevan Mission Har Ghar Jal initiative. The availability of water at their doorsteps has allowed women to focus on skill development and self-reliance, contributing significantly to their empowerment. Also, time saved leads to a 7.4 percentage point increase in women's participation in agriculture and businesses. Moreover, Jal Jeevan Mission's framework includes a mandate for 50% representation of women in village water and sanitation committees, prioritizing their needs in water planning and enhancing leadership roles. Beyond leadership, the mission has opened up employment opportunities, with projections of nearly 59.9 lakh direct jobs being created under its framework. This economic boost is helping women achieve financial independence, further solidifying their pivotal role in rural development. The Jal Jeevan Mission Har Ghar Jal under the Ministry of Jal Shakti was launched as a centrally sponsored scheme. It aims to provide every rural household with safe and reliable tap water by 2024. The broader vision of the mission is to create wash-enlightened villages, where local communities are equipped to sustainably manage water supply and sanitation services. Its approach extends beyond households, ensuring piped water connections in schools, Anganwadi centers and ashram shalas, thereby fostering a healthier and more inclusive environment for children and communities alike. Moreover, its key components include ensuring water quality, bottom-up planning, source sustainability, grey water management, and skill development and employment. Since its inception, Jal Jeevan Mission has made extraordinary strides. Rural coverage for tap water connection is raised to 79.31% from just 17% in 3.23 crore households in 2019. In conclusion, Jal Jeevan Mission is not just delivering water, it's delivering hope, dignity, and empowerment to millions. Moving ahead, let's discuss a critical issue that underscores the need for justice and dignity in our society: the eradication of manual scavenging. Despite repeated judicial directives, the practice persists, and the centre now faces potential contempt of court for failing to implement the Supreme Court's October 2023 judgment in the Dr. Balram Singh versus Union of India case. In this landmark decision, the Apex Court had issued stern directives to eliminate manual scavenging and hazardous cleaning practices. The court highlighted the failure to achieve this, pointing out that not even one municipality has successfully eradicated it, despite the introduction of the National Action for Mechanized Sanitation Ecosystem or Namaste scheme. But what is manual scavenging? It refers to the cleaning, carrying, or handling of human excreta in insanitary latrines, open drains, pits, or even on railway tracks. The statistics paint a grim picture. As of 2021, India had over 58,000 manual scavengers, 75% of whom are women. Between 2018 and 2022, 339 people tragically lost their lives while cleaning sewers and septic tanks. This practice starkly violates constitutional rights, particularly Article 17, which abolishes untouchability, and Article 21, which guarantees the right to live with dignity. The Supreme Court's directives in Dr. Balram Singh versus Union of India were clear. Increase compensation for sewer-related deaths to 30 lakh rupees, provide 20 lakh rupees for permanent disablement, and 10 lakh rupees for other injuries. Additionally, it emphasized the importance of scholarships and skill programs for the rehabilitation of those affected. India does have the Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavengers and the Rehabilitation Act 2013, which criminalizes manual scavenging. Yet, loopholes remain. For instance, it prohibits manual scavenging. However, cleaning excreta with protective gear is not considered manual scavenging. Violations of this law are punishable with up to 2 years in prison or a fine of 1 lakh rupees or both. To address this, a Namaste scheme, spearheaded by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, was launched. It aims to eliminate hazardous cleaning, prevent deaths, and ensure the safety and dignity of sanitation workers. The Central Sector Scheme was implemented by the National Safai Karamchari Financial Development Corporation. And lastly, Namaste is set to run from 2022 to 2026. However, its success hinges on effective execution and stringent accountability. Moving ahead, a growing movement is gaining momentum in India, the call for a right to disconnect. This initiative has sparked national debate following the tragic death of a young employee due to work-related stress. The concept emphasizes that employees should not feel obligated to respond to employer calls or messages after work hours, and they should not face any disciplinary action for choosing to disconnect. So why is there a need for right to disconnect in India? Let's look at the psychosocial impact. Constant connectivity weakens social bonds, isolates individuals, and can lead to serious health risks such as mental health issues and cardiovascular diseases. Women in particular bear a disproportionate burden. A recent study reveals that Indian women in professional fields like IT, auditing, and media work over 55 hours a week. Prolonged screen time also contributes to loss of productivity, insomnia, disrupted sleep cycles, and much more. So what is India's current stance? Unfortunately, the country lacks specific laws that enshrine the right to disconnect. However, constitutional provisions such as Article 38, which directs the state to promote welfare, and Article 39E, which secures the strength and health of workers, could be interpreted to support such rights. Judicial pronouncements like the Vishakha vs. State of Rajasthan case in 1997 stressed safe working environments for women, while the Ravindra Kumar Dhariwal vs. Union of India case in 2021 called for accommodation for persons with disabilities. Notably, a private member's bill on the right to disconnect was introduced in the Lok Sabha in 2018, which aimed to delineate the right to disconnect from work after working hours. How does India compare globally? Several countries are leading the way. In France, a landmark 2001 ruling upheld that employees are not obligated to work from home or take files after hours. Portugal's right to disconnect law makes it illegal for employers to contact employees outside of working hours except in emergencies. In Spain, public workers and employees have the right to switch off devices, and Australia have also recognized this right, offering workers the freedom to disconnect without repercussions. In today's Place in News, we turn our focus to Nicaragua with its capital, Managua. Recently, India and Nicaragua have signed an umbrella agreement to implement Quick Impact Projects or QIPs, strengthening bilateral ties between the two nations. Let's take a closer look at Nicaragua and its political and geographical features. Nicaragua is located in Central America and is the largest of the Central American republics. It shares its borders with Honduras to the north, the Caribbean Sea to the east, Costa Rica to the south, and the Pacific Ocean to the west. The country is a member of several regional and international organizations, including the Central American Integration System or SICA, the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States or CALAC, and the World Trade Organization or WTO. Moving on to its geographical features, Nicaragua experiences a diverse climate, with the eastern region being slightly cooler and much wetter than the west. The country is home to notable lakes, including Lago de Nicaragua and Lago de Managua. Major rivers such as the Negro, Tiro Real, and Tamarindo flow through its landscape. Nicaragua's highest peak is Mogollon Peak, adding to the unique geographical identity of this Central American nation. As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. Recently, the Centre sought Parliament's approval for net additional expenditure as part of supplementary demand for grants. Under Article 115, it is raised when the money previously authorized by Parliament for a particular service for that financial year is found to be insufficient. Bulgaria and Romania will become full members of Schengen from January 1, 2025. Schengen zone is the largest borderless area globally, allowing free movement for over 400 million people. Recently, Israel's military struck several key Syrian military sites, including naval vessels at the Latakia port. Latakia port is located on the East Mediterranean coast on a good harbor, with an extensive agricultural hinterland in west of Syria. India's defense minister urged Russia to expedite the supply of 2 remaining units of S-400 Triumph surface-to-air missile systems. Designed by Russia, S-400 missile system has a large range and high altitude of air targets destruction, multi-channel, high mobility and survivability. Russia's defense ministry reported that Ukraine attacked a military airfield in Taganrog, southern Russia, using US-supplied Army Tactical Missile System missiles. It is a surface-to-surface ballistic missile with a 300-kilometer range, manufactured by Lockheed Martin. IIT Madras has become the first research organization in the world to release an open-source brain mapping dataset named Dharani. Dharani is the largest open-access digital dataset of the human fetal brain. 18-year-old Gukesh Dommaraju became the world's youngest chess champion, defeating China's Ding Liren. The Indian prodigy, a grandmaster at 12, is the 18th champion since the first title in 1886. For this, the FIDE World Chess Championship offers a $2.5 million prize fund. The 1,300-year-old Abad Sahayeshwar Temple received 2024 UNESCO Asia Pacific Awards for Cultural Heritage Conservation. This temple is located in Tukkachi, Tanjavur district, Tamil Nadu. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.